So today we're going to look at the Qin Dynasty. Didn't have a very long reign, but had a very influential reign in China. So as you can see here, the map shows the expansive size through which the Qin Dynasty ruled, and it was significant in figuring out how did they do this. So we're going to focus in this video on the Wills, the rulers that made this happen. How did they accomplish such a feat? Because this was the first dynasty to rule as a central power over essentially the whole of what we now know as China. One of the things they did that was really interesting, that's noted everywhere, is they standardized everything. They had all these different countries that they brought together, and they started making standards. One of the first things they did was make standardized currency. And this really helped the people of China in their interactions. It allowed them greater freedom to trade their food and their goods more effectively with each other. It allowed greater freedom. This was a good standardization. So the standardization of currency helped the people express themselves more freely through transactions. Another thing they did was they standardized literacy. When Qin took over all these different countries, there were all kinds of variations in how people wrote, and the Qin Dynasty brought it all into one singular standard. And this is very helpful because everybody in the countries then can write something and be confident that others will understand what they wrote. That helps with the freedom of expression. So this also is a good standardization because it gives greater freedom to the people. Another thing they did was they started building large portions of what we know now as the Great Wall of China. They didn't build the whole thing, but they started the foundations that later dynasties picked up on and continued. But what this did is it gave a sense of security to the whole kingdom. When you have a wall, everything inside the wall has a feeling of oneness, of togetherness, of being a part of something. And everything outside the wall that might be dangerous is supposed to be staying outside. That's the intent of building a wall like this. And it gives security to the people. This is helpful for them because they have confidence that their families will be safe and armies won't just come in and take all their food and their houses and wage war. So this is very good in standardizing too. You standardize security, literacy, and currency. Unfortunately, the Qin Dynasty did not stop simply with these standards. And here's where we come to an important rule for the Wills. If you standardize things, you want to standardize things, not people. The Qin Dynasty did not just standardize things like currency, literacy, and security. They tried to standardize people as well. So as you rule your kingdom, be very careful. As a ruler, you want to build standards that enable your people to be free in expressing themselves, but be very careful about the temptation of trying to standardize people, because they will rebel, they will kick you off your throne, and then put someone else in your place. So rulers standardize things, but not people.